Coffee with Honey. It's your girl HoneyDaVinci and I'm back with another video. So today I'll be doing another segment of the review and I'll be covering Love and Hip Hop Season 9 Episode 3. And I'll just be focusing on the key moments of the episode. So the episode starts off right where it left off at, with Karlie and Sierra going at it at Sierra's event. As you know from the last episode, Sierra is mad at Karlie for showing up late to her court hearing, even though we all saw Karlie try her best to get there. So they're going back and forth, they're exchanging words, and Sierra's trying to kick Karlie out of the party, and Karlie's like, I'm not leaving. You know what I mean? So she's like, no, I'm not leaving. Because I feel like as a friend, if you know you and your friend are going through something, why would you try to kick them out of an event that you're having? Like, no real friend would do that. She was not doing anything that was that severe for you to kick her out of your event and try to embarrass your so-called friend like that. Why would you invite her if you were just going to kick her out? You knew that you felt some type of way about her. You brought it up to her and then going to kick her out for talking about it when you were just talking about it at the event for 20 minutes before she even arrived. But then you're going to kick her out for talking about it. Girl, bye. So Karlie's like, no, like, I'm not going to leave. That's some real friend shit. I'm not about to leave just because we're having a disagreement. I'm going to still be here and support your stupid ass. So then that's when Sierra mushes Karlie in the face. Oh my gosh. Whew. Girl. We would have been in that bitch thumping, yo. It would have been two big bitches up in there thumping, okay? No, she mushes Karlie in the face, and next thing you know, Sierra's fucking assistant runs over and starts boop, 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 thumping on the back of fucking Karlie's head, and they freaking jump Karlie. Oh my gosh. My whole thing is, right, regardless to whom or what, almost every single person in that clique is supposed to be Karlie's friend, okay? Almost every single person in the clique, guys included. Ain't no way Karlie should have been able to get jumped with that many of her so-called friends around, okay? Now, Rashida claims she didn't see it. Sierra claims she didn't see it. But it was very clear that them girls ran down on Karlie and not a soul bust a grape up in there to help her. Ain't no way I'm going to sit there and watch my friend get beat up. I don't even care if she ain't even like my best friend. If we're kind of a friend, ain't no way I'm going to sit there and watch you get jumped. Bitch, I will get my ass beat before I watch a family member, a friend, a associate get jumped. That shit don't fly around here. No. I will walk out with a busted eye and a bloody nose before I allow somebody that I'm even kind of cool with get jumped on some bullshit. No, that's out. So for her to even be able to get jumped in a room full of her peers is really wild. Is really wild. And that just shows that there is no loyalty when it comes to Karlie. People do not respect Karlie. People do not value Karlie. And people do not appreciate Karlie when she is really a good-ass friend. And that's what happens when you're a good-ass friend. People don't value you. You know who they value? They value the bitches that's going to fold on them the moment that some shit pop off. Those be the ones that people value and want to have in their life forever and want to be there for and do the most for. But the friends that's actually there for them, the friends that actually do care about them, and the friends that will actually watch their kids for them, the friends that actually do stuff for them, and the friends that actually ride or die for them, man, they treat them like shit, and they always, this is just the way it is. Like, this is just how it is. You know what I mean? The same way good girls like bad guys, and bad guys and good guys like bad girls is the same way as get unappreciated, just like that. It's the same shit. It's the same shit. People don't value good friends. So, after all of the fighting goes on, and Karlie, first of all, let me not forget, Sierra got her wig snatched off. But I will admit, she still looked cute with the Meek Mill braids and all that. But, whoo, girl, when she got her wig snatched off, she grabbed her head. Girl, I know what you went through. Listen, I know what you done went through. I know what that feel like when somebody pull your motherfucking wig off when you're in the middle of an altercation, okay? I've been there and done that, okay? I know what that feel like. Okay, that should make you go in motherfucking hawk mode, bitch. What? Okay? That should make you wanna fuck everybody up in the building. What? Oh, I'm beating up everybody who's seen this shit. Like, oh, hell no. I know what you went through, girl. But she still looked cute nonetheless. Her edges was still laid to the gods, and you feel me, they just threw a little, they quickly, they got that hair freaking, stocking cap put on that girl head quick. That girl braids was out for like 2.2 seconds, and next you know they had that stocking cap back on, but that wig was long gone. Or whatever. And then, after the fighting and all of that stuff, Rashida, Kirk, and Bambi, they're, you know, standing around, you know, about to leave. And they're just chatting it up before they all separate. And Bambi's going off about how Karlie should have just left. No, girl. I'm not trying to hear that shit. At the end of the day, Karlie did not do anything that warranted her hands being put on her by a best friend. See, there's levels to the shit, okay? Now, if there was some associate, maybe. You feel me? Because we not really friends like that, and bitch, who do you think you are to tell me you not leaving my event? But a best friend, you don't put your hands on your friends, period. That's where you draw the line at. Ain't no way I'm going to be sitting there fucking with a bitch that's just liable to put their hands on me over any little petty argument. No. Friendships are like relationships. Y'all going to go through shit. Y'all going to have y'all highs and y'all lows. But at no point is it okay for you to put your hands on your friend. That's some fake ass friendship. Okay? And so she was trying to, you know, go around and plant seeds because obviously she's taking Sierra's side as we saw in the last episode. So she's planting seeds in people's head like Karlie's wrong. Karlie should have just left before she dipped off. Then the next time we see them, we see Sierra sitting down with Bambi and we see, you know, Rashida sitting down with Karlie. And, you know, Sierra's talking to Bambi about how she's mad at her assistant for putting her hands on, you know, Karlie, because even though they was going through what they was going through, she didn't want nobody jumping in on her beef with her friend at the end of the day. But girl, you set that tone, girl. You set the tone. You did that. You obviously had been running around telling your assistant some shit to make her feel like when shit got hot between you and Karlie that was time for her to ride. You get what I'm saying? Ain't no assistant gonna just be that hot and that heavy over you going through something with your friend unless you had already been chit-chatting, running your mouth like you always do. And that was why I was mad at her on the last episode, because it's like, your friend can't be there for you one time and the first thing you do is go run to the clique and tell the clique how trash your friend is and all these things. No, that's not friendship. That's not friendship. And so we can see basically where Sierra is at with her loyalty to Karlie. It's non-existent, okay? And that's why her assistant was like, girl, let me beat your best friend's ass. Ain't no way, if you really that loyal to your best friend, your assistant would have seen that shit and wouldn't even thought to do that, because it was like, nah, they bond so tight, I would never even put my hands on her. But clearly you made it clear to your assistant that wasn't the case. And that's why your assistant felt comfortable putting her hands on your best friend. Okay? And so anyways, Bambi jumps in, you know, to conversation with Sierra and is like, well, yeah, well, you know Karlie's energy just been off. Girl, obviously Karlie's energy has been off. If you were a friend, Sierra, I'm talking to you, because Sierra was like, yeah, her energy's been off too. So, like, agreeing with Bambi. Sierra, if you were a friend to Karlie, like you want Karlie to be to you, you would know why her energy has been off. Karlie's energy has been off because she just got out of a relationship where I believe Mo was probably whooping her ass. She's going through a divorce right now, and she just had niggas pull guns out on her. So obviously her energy is going to be off. But you wouldn't know that because you were never a friend to begin with. You two, like Karlie said, you too busy with your shit going on that you can't be there for her. But for some reason, you want to run around and bitch and moan to everybody, Nancy and Sally, telling Nancy and Sally your sob stories about how Karlie's not a good friend to you and how Karlie's not there for you. But you don't even know what your friend is going through. And that's exactly the problem with friendships a lot of the time. People so worried about themselves, and yes, I'm saying it again, that they don't take care of nobody else but want everybody to take care of them. They don't look out for nobody else but want everybody to look out for them. No, that's not friendship. That's that fake friendship. And I'm not with none of that fake friend shit. And Bambi, you was never Karlie friends to begin with, so for you to be talking about her energies, you wouldn't know her well enough to know her energy. You a fly-by friend. You a friend of a friend. You don't know her like that to question her energy. Okay? And now when, Karlie's talking to Rashida, Karlie's letting Rashida know that she got jumped. Like, this wasn't a situation of, her and Sierra going back and forth. People was hitting her from behind. And so, they zoomed in on that part and showed us the assistant, punching on Karlie in the back of her head. And Rashida's like, I didn't know you was getting jumped. I didn't see that. Which is very convenient, Rashida, because you were right there. But okay, we'll act like you didn't see anything. We'll act like you didn't know what was going on. Okay? Because they was knocking that girl on the back of her head for a good minute there. And for nobody to see nothing is wild. Okay? It's wild. It's very wild. Rashida, you was not fighting. So for you not to see a bunch of people running over, like, well, or then again, maybe she's just used to the security guards. Maybe she thought it was the security guards. I don't know. But I just think it's very convenient that Rashida was right there and didn't see Karlie getting punched on in the back of her head for a whole 10 seconds, which is a long time in a fight. But anyway, so she's letting, Rashida know that she might be pressing charges. Then the next time we see Karlie and Sierra was when they met up at church. So Sierra decided that she wanted to meet up with Karlie at church because, she's all worried about the whole situation with Karlie and her having charges pressed on her by Karlie. And that is literally the only reason why she even went to this church with this girl. She did not go to this church because she's some wholesome Christian and trying to better herself. No, she went to the church with Karlie because, like she said in her private interview or whatever, I need the Lord right now to help me with Karlie so that she can chill out and I don't get in no more trouble. Bitch.
Shut up, bitch. Oh my God.
She had absolutely no intention of apologizing to Karlie to make amends because of their friendship. She was literally just worried about the law getting involved. Okay, so it's her, Rashida, Karlie, and Spice, which is my girl. I love Spice. So Karlie's with Spice and Sierra's with Rashida, and they ended up meeting up after the segment or the sermon, whatever you want to call it, and they're talking to each other, and Sierra's saying to Karlie, like, girl, I apologize, and she started crying and shit. And I am so glad that Karlie saw right through all of that shit. She saw right through it. She said, I had to question whether Sierra was crying because she really cared for me, or was she crying because she doesn't want me to press charges on her. And that's some real shit. And obviously we know the reason why Sierra was crying was because she didn't want no charges pressed on her. And Karlie let her know that I don't believe it. Like, I can't trust you right now. I'm hurt right now. And karma's a bitch. And Sierra was like, well, if you're going to be petty, then... And that's when Karlie was like, I'm not saying I'm going to be petty, but I'm just letting you know what it is. Karma's a bitch. And you will face karma for what you did to me. And Sierra is facing karma for what she did to Karlie because she's getting dragged all on social media to the point where she has put out a public apology to Karlie on social media and is basically saying how she's just so upset about what she did.
All right, people, so I am coming on here to address something about the show, the situation with me and my friend Karlie. For anybody that knows me, I am never on Instagram talking about nothing other than my business, promoting nothing other than my business, unless I'm playing and joking with my supporters and followers, and you know, things in that nature. I might post my kids from time to time, but I want to genuinely say I apologize again. I've apologized so many times, but I really feel like my friend Karlie deserved a public apology, because that shouldn't have happened.
And all these things. And girl, we still don't believe you. Okay? We still don't believe you. Leave Karlie alone. You are not a good friend. You do not deserve her. Move on. You're toxic just like the men you attract. That's why you attract those type of men like Shooter and BK, because you're toxic. Okay? And just like they treat you like shit, and you like having them around, that toxic relationship around, and you keep running back to dudes who's doing you dirty, it's the same way you did Karlie dirty. And now you want to come in and out her life like that. No, girl. Move on about your business. Let Karlie go. You don't deserve her. You crossed her. You went to a point of no return. Now leave her alone. Leave that girl alone. Okay? Alright, so the scene pans over to Stevie and Mimi. So, Stevie J's being his normal creepy self and is basically flirting with Mimi, and Mimi's like curving the shit out of him like she always does. And basically, Stevie's letting Mimi know that he would like to have a relationship with her on like a friend level, because at the end of the day, they're family. They have a child together, and they're going to be in each other's lives forever. So he wants their relationship to be on like a friend level, where they can talk to each other and confide into each other, which I personally believe is just Stevie's way of trying to manipulate his way back into Mimi's life to a certain extent, where he can cause destruction and havoc, as we know Stevie likes to do. I feel like Mimi has really kept her distance from him and kept him on a very short leash, where he can't really penetrate into her relationship and her life and cause drama and destruction, which he does to all of her relationships. So now he's trying to do the good guy thing and let's be friends and work, as while he tries to work his way back into her mind and into basically, you know, do whatever he plans on doing probably next season. We'll see. And so Mimi opens up to him about her and her girlfriend's relationship, and how basically they're at that point where marriage is possibly in the future, and she doesn't feel comfortable getting married because every person that she's ever loved has left her. And so she feels like, why would she get married if everyone always leaves her? And she spoke about her abandonment issues with her mom. And she basically spoke about like her fears and trust issues that she has towards Ty, who has not done anything wrong. Ty has been a great girlfriend to her. And she acknowledges that her issues with her abandonment and her trust issues have absolutely nothing to do with Ty, and it's all herself. And so she's really scared, because after her relationship with Stevie, you know, she's went from relationship to relationship, you know, with Nico and all these different bad relationships where it's just been turmoil after turmoil, and she never really gave herself the chance to heal. And so now that she's in this great relationship with Ty, it's like she's shell shocked, and it's causing her all types of anxiety and emotions, because when you go through a lot of bad relationship one after another, you can become like a tank. You know what I mean? Like damn near indestructible, where you done put these layers of walls up so thick and so high that no one can get to you, right? Because you see through people's bullshit, and like for a long time you just like managing cutting down all the clowns. You're cutting through the clowns, and you feel like your wall is needed because it's working for you. You know what I mean? You're protecting yourself, you're protecting your heart. It's getting easier to say goodbye to these dudes or whoever, men or female. You know what I mean? And then you meet someone who comes in and they're showing you something totally different. They're showing you constant attention. They're showing you love and support. They're being there for you. You know what I mean? They're not cheating on you. They're being loyal to you. And they're being like, peace. You know what I mean? And you're not ready for it. You're not mentally, because it's like, it's the scariest shit of all. Because it's like, oh my gosh, this person deserves me to bring these walls down, but I'm scared because if I bring these walls down, they're going to hurt me again. And so, you know, she's struggling with that. And a lot of times when you struggle with that, you lose good people. And she's trying to, you know, work on herself. And I think that all Mimi really needs to do is just go to therapy and she'll be just fine. You know what I mean? So they really opened up about that. And she also talked about the trauma that she has experienced from being with Stevie. And Stevie took accountability for that. And we know Stevie, that's one thing Stevie never has a problem with doing, is taking accountability for the shit he's done. He may be an asshole. He may be a charming idiot. But he will take accountability. He will apologize. The problem is the sincerity behind it. You know what I mean? He'll say, I'm sorry. He'll say, I'm wrong. Quickly. But the sincerity behind it is not always there. And so, you know, she talked about how him hurting her. Like, he hurt her. Like we saw in the past. He hurt her to the core. And I know all about that, and going through relationships where you just love someone so much. And they just do any and everything they possibly can to hurt you. Like, they do, like, they know you love them, like, on some next level shit. And so they feel like instead of just loving you back, they just want to walk all over you and try you and see how far they can push you and see how much they can do to you. And that shit is fucking traumatizing. That shit is traumatizing. Oh my gosh, I know it completely what she is going through in regards to pretty much everything she's going through. Like, I know all about that shit. But it was nice to see Mimi open up. And, you know, I like to see her and Stevie work in their relationship in a positive way, because a lot of times we really don't get to see them interact in a positive way, you know. Now, the scene cuts over to Scrappy's birthday party. And Mama D is throwing Scrappy a surprise birthday party. I thought that was really sweet, because no one's ever thrown me a surprise party before, and I've always wanted one. So it was just nice. I always love seeing people have surprise parties or whatever. So Mama D has everyone and their mama at the surprise party. And so she spills the tea to Rashida and Kirk that Shirley, which is Rashida's mom, has let her know that she wanted to open her own boutique, but Kirk wasn't having it and was telling her that it's a conflict of interest, and that basically she couldn't work at Press anymore and open her own boutique. She would have to pretty much either work at Press and not open her own boutique, or go open her own boutique and can't work at Press. And I felt like that was foul as hell. Like, how are you going to do that to your mother-in-law? Like, y'all should support each other. The same way you're putting your kids on to your restaurant and you have them working in their restaurant, would you tell your kid if they wanted to go out and branch out and open their own restaurant that they wouldn't be able to work at your restaurant anymore? Like, I just don't see how that's okay. But Kirk goes on to say how basically Shirley was selling her own shit out of Press. So that makes it understandable. Because I was about to drag Kirk for a minute, like, oh, I was like, this nigga is a bum. But then I was like, oh, okay, so if she's selling clothes out of Press, that's different. You know what I mean? I feel like Miss Shirley and Kirk have some underlying beef with each other. I feel like Kirk just straight up never forgave Miss Shirley for running over his motorcycle that one time. And so, like, I just feel like the whole situation with Kirk cheating on Rashida, and, you know, Rashida being pregnant and Kirk asking Rashida for the DNA test and all that, I feel like that really put a strain on Kirk and Shirley's relationship, to where they just bump heads and it's not repairable. So, after Kirk and, you know, Rashida find out the news about Shirley, it cuts on over to, you know, everybody's partying. So that's when young Jock comes up to Scrappy. He's like, hey, yo, your mom over there drinking. Because as we know, Mama D just had surgery, her 4th surgery for drinking. You know, she had a kidney infection and she had kidney stones that she had to get removed. So that was her 4th surgery that she had, and now she's on this path of sobriety. And I must say, it's really nice to see Mama D sober. Yo, Mama D, so I don't know if anyone else noticed this but me, but Mama D sober is like a totally different person. And I didn't know that she was all kooky and crazy like that because of drinking. But wow, like, she talks much more clear. Like, she's less animated when she's sober. And I really noticed that on this episode. So, you know, Scrap goes over to his mom. Like, first of all, it wasn't even just Scrap. It was like Scrap, Kirk, Jock, and like some other dude that I don't even know who his name was. They all like surrounded Mama D and was like, what you drinking? Like, they was like, and she just started yelling at them like, it's Coke, it's cola, it's cola. Like, it's not liquor or whatever. And everybody just having a hard time trusting Mama D. And it hurt her feelings, you know what I mean? Because it's like she's really trying to stay on the good path. And I think that's a beautiful thing that she has a support system to stay on her, because the path of sobriety can be a really tough one. And a lot of times we lose loved ones to the drugs or, you know, the alcoholism. So it's very, very important for people who are struggling with addiction to have a support system with them. And people who are going to check on them, and people who are, and obviously Scrappy's going to check on his mom and make sure she's good at all times or whatever. Another thing that happened at the birthday party was Bambi was sitting down with the girls and they were all bringing up light-skinned Keisha. Obviously Shekinah, because Shekinah just like inserted herself into the shit. But so they're talking about light-skinned Keisha, and Tokyo Vanity is talking about how she's doing work with light-skinned Keisha, and that's her homegirl, that's her sister, blah, blah, blah. And so that's when Bambi is like, I don't like her. I don't know if I like her. I don't really know about Shorty. Shorty ain't right there. So that's when everyone is like, what is going on? Like, why don't you like light-skinned Keisha? And Bambi lets everyone know that pretty much light-skinned Keisha is a hood squirrel who took her best friend's man, pretty much. And she don't fuck with females who are home wreckers and do shit like that.
No business though.
No, I mean, just a minute. I mean, you know, I told you when we met.
But I'm saying, like, who the is she to be knowing my business?
Well,
you told me everything, don't.
So after that, it cuts over to Shekinah having a sit down with light-skinned Keisha, Jock, and light-skinned Keisha's boyfriend, who I can't remember his name for the god of me. So I'm not even going to attempt to try to remember his name. But anyway, so after that, they're all meeting up at Jock's new club that he is, you know, preparing to have his grand opening. And he basically just brought them there because he wanted them to see his new, you know, club. And so Shekinah thought that would be a great idea to invite Bambi, who obviously has beef with light-skinned Keisha, to Jock's brand new club that he hasn't even presented to the world yet. So Jock's like, girl, what is you doing? But Shekinah wanted them to clear the air because she likes light-skinned Keisha, and she wants them to like be friends so that she can bring basically light-skinned Keisha into the clique. You know what I mean? And obviously, you know how love and hip hop works. Like, if you don't fit in the clique, you will probably just fall off the show. And you might get a clip here and there if you're beefing with someone. But once that beef is over, you're out. If you're not in the inner circle, you're not going to get invited to events. Unless it's to, like, start drama with whoever you have beef with. But eventually, anyone who's not in the circle ends up getting left off the show eventually. Like, maybe 2-3 seasons after they're on the show, they get dropped off. So Shekinah's trying to basically move her in, and the only way she's really going to be able to do that is to make amends with Bambi, because, you know, Bambi ain't going nowhere. Bambi is in a relationship with Scrappy, who is basically related to Rashida and them. You get what I mean? So you already know. She's not going nowhere, so she's just trying to make it right. And Bambi comes there, like, girl, I don't want to know you. And but girl, bye. You a hoe. You's the home wrecker. Boom, boom, boom. So light skin Keisha's like, girl, this my man. Da 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 da. I don't care about nothing that she has going on, that her friend had going on with him. This is my man. And I don't respect females like that. Like, listen, I'm not a judgmental person. If you want to take people's men, then take people's men. I'm not going to judge you. That's your life. You got your reasons. But why disrespect the female, though? Like, she's sitting on there, like, talking about how Bambi, like, rule number 1, you're not supposed to go after the female. And then sits there and talks about, well, oh, yeah, this my man. I don't, if she can't keep a man. Girl, in that same breath, you're contradicting yourself because you're going after the female. After you take someone's man, you do not have to disrespect them. You do not have to sit there and clown them because you took their busted ass man who clearly doesn't understand loyalty or, you know, commitment. So I didn't respect that. I would have rather her just been on some shit like, this my man, he ain't going nowhere, than to be on some shit like, well, your friend can't keep a man, it's not my problem, that this and that. Because the girl didn't. What did she do to you? You took her man, so why are you talking about her like she did something to you? Or whatever. So they go back and forth and they exchange insults to each other. Bambi talks about how light-skinned Keisha's bob is so stiff that shit don't move. And then the shady ass cameraman zooms in on her fucking bob and that shit's not moving. And then, you know, light-skinned Keisha's talking about Bambi's teeth that have, them things done got big. Yes, they have. So they was cutting each other up like that. Overall, I think this was a great episode. I enjoyed the episode. I look forward to the next episode. It's really picking up. Because like I said on the first episode, I felt like Love and Hip Hop Atlanta was pretty stale. And I felt like it was like bottoming out compared to Love and Hip Hop New York and Love and Hip Hop Miami and even Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. But I feel like it's picking up the momentum. I'm interested. I want to see what's going to happen next. You know what I mean? And, you know, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you can stay up to date on all of my videos. I love you guys so much. Thank you for all of the support. Have a wonderful day. See you on the next video. Bye.